Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how I make my text. You guys have gotten a lot of requests on how I make my text. So I'm going to get started. You want to have Cinema 4D, of course, and you're also going to need Photoshop, obviously. And you want to have a Lightroom. And for this tutorial, I'm going to be using Monday's V3 Lightroom. Really good. I recommend it. And also, this tutorial is for people who have a basic understanding of these programs. So let's get started. So you want to first go to MoGraph, go to MoText, and then this is gonna pop up. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just gonna make it the text say text. And next, you want to pick a font, and I recommend a font that is just simple. I like to use simple fonts, so a simple bold font. You don't want anything too fancy. And so for this tutorial, I will use motion control. I have no idea how you pronounce that. Motion control New Light. Okay. I actually use this font in various banners. You may recognize it. But yeah, you can see that it's very simple style of font, which is what I prefer and recommend. But you don't have to if you want, but it's just what I recommend. So now that you have your text right here, you want to increase the depth. So around maybe like between 30 and 40, so I will use 30 is good, I guess. So okay, so now that you got your depth figured out, you want to go make sure you're on your text layer right here. You want to click C on your keyboard, and that just makes every letter a separate file, so you can click each one separately. So now that you've done that, you can start rotating, moving your text around. So I'll start with the T. You can rotate it, make sure you get the angle you want to render your text in. So around here. And so yeah, you can rotate it. I like to make sure at the bottom of the text you can see it slightly. And also for the first and last letter of the text, I like to increase it a bit. So yeah, so you just want to rotate it like that, and you can do this with the other letters. And maybe for the letters inside of the word, you can just make it a little bit smaller if you want. And also make sure, yeah, I said this again, but make sure the bottom of the letter is slightly visible.
Things began to seem different. Moods dissipated into blue and gray pigments. With surface-wise, his screen names were never inefficient as a method to communicate that happiness was with him. So a couple thousand people saw a perfectly innocuous.
So now that your rotating is done, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this letter. So on your text layer, do Control C, Control V. Now this is actually optional, but this is if you want to have like a border thing around your text, but I'll show you what that is quickly. So first, you want to pick a color. I just recommend using, it depends what the color of the text will be, but I'll make this text for this tutorial blue. So for the fillet, I'm going to make it a really dark blue border, like that. So with your second layer, you want to click on the plus here so you can open it up, and you want to go to your text right here so it shows all of the letters right here. So you want to click the first letter, go to the last letter, and you want to hold shift, click on that so it will select all of your letters. And then after that, you want to go to caps, and you'll see the cap right here. You'll want to go to fillet. So click on fillet, and you can mess with the settings if you want. Try. You can increase the steps a bit to like you can. I usually like to increase it to around 4, the steps right here. So after you have that, you want to have your color, of course. So make a new material, pick the color you want, and after that, right-click on your material and click on Object Soft Shadow. It just makes it a lot better in the render. So after that, you have your material of the color of your choice. I still recommend a more darker color, but like I said again, this option is still optional. You don't have to do this fillet cap thing. So you just want to drag your material to your top layer, and you have that nice border around your text. Actually, I might make it a little brighter, that a more lighter blue. And you're actually not gonna need a color for your original layer. Just keep it white, keep it default, and that is pretty much all of the work you have to do in Cinema 4D. So the last thing you want to do is render it. So I'm going to render my text quickly, and after our text is rendered, we are going to go to Photoshop and do all of the effects. So after this text is done rendering, I will meet you in Photoshop. Okay, now once that you have your text finished, you can open up your Photoshop, and you're going to do all of the colors and the effects of the text, which is the fun part. So once you have that, you want to have a render workspace to work on your text, obviously. And so you want to have a new layer ready to go, file, place, and you want to select your text that you rendered in Cinema 4D. Alright? So nice and fancy yet, but you're gonna change that. Alright, so we are gonna start by you're gonna want to pick your magic wand tool over here in the tools right here. So now that you have your magic wand tool, you are gonna select all of the white in your text. So it may not select it the whole white. So after that, you're gonna have to select all the white. So you have to hold Shift to do this. So hold Shift. Oops. You want to hold Shift and click all on the white. If that happens, do Control Z. No big deal. Just want to make sure you select all of the white. So yeah, just by holding Shift, keep clicking around the white, you will eventually get all of the text, and you're going to want to do that with all of the letters. So I'll probably speed this up while I do this process. Okay, now that all of the white inside of the text is selected, you are gonna do Control J, and that is gonna duplicate your text right here. Now, there may be some parts of the border effect here, so no big deal. So if that happens to you, which happened to me, you're gonna want to take your polygon lasso tool and just go around it like this, and you're just gonna take your eraser tool and just erase it, just like that. Really simple. Alright, so after you fix all of that, you have your white text here, and this is when you get started with the color. So with your duplicated text layer right here, you want to go to your blending options. I'll put this on the side so you can see this better. And we're going to have to make our own layer style. So I like to start with doing a gradient overlay. And you're going to pick the color you want to use. So personally, I'm just going to do a blue for the sake of this tutorial. But for the top of the text, you want to go for a more lighter color, like a light blue, like this. That's good. And for the bottom, you want to go for a much darker color of that same color. So I want to use a much darker blue. Like, pick one I like here. That's good. Okay. Now that we have that, you may notice that you may have parts of the text that you may have missed. So you can just take your tool, just quickly add that color, like that. I'll go back to my blending options. So we have our gradient overlay. Make sure it's on normal, 100%. Next thing you're going to want to do is click on Satin, my bad. And you want to make sure it's on white, and your blend mode is on overlay. You want to have your opacity to 100%. Make sure your angle is on 0. And you're just going to mess with the distance and size, see what you want. It just makes the text a lot brighter and stand out a lot more. So you actually don't want too many pixels. But you see, it just makes it a lot brighter and stand out more. You don't really need to mess with the distance and size at all, actually. So you can just keep it at 1 pixel, 0, and that's it for your satin. Next thing you want to do is go to your inner glow. Now with your inner glow, you want to make sure your blend mode is on overlay, opacity 100%, and it's on, make sure your color is white. Okay? And you're just gonna mess with the size a bit. Just experiment with what you like. I'm just gonna use around 46 pixels ish, maybe a little lower actually. Yeah, that's good, 40. But just do what you want. Now that you have your inner glow, you're going to go to your bevel and emboss. So you're going to click on that. Now you want to make sure your style is on inner bevel, smooth technique, and you're just going to experiment with the size. Oh yeah, and you also want to have your highlight mode on color dodge, white, and you can just pretty much mess with the settings of what you like. It pretty much gives it a really bright light angle, like you see on the left side. It makes it really bright, so you can just mess with the opacity of that and just experiment with what you like. It'll make it a lot brighter and make it look really nice, actually. So yeah, mess with the size a bit, of course. You can choose if you want to soften it or not. You don't have to, but I'm not going to for this tutorial. And mess with the opacity a little bit more. Let's see. I like that. That's good. Cool. Now that our layer style is done, now I recommend you click on New Style and you're going to save it. So if you want to use this style again, you go to your styles right there. And so you have our own custom layer style right here. And now that we have that, you're not going to merge these layers yet because we're going to add more to our text here. So you're going to want to make a new layer, merge your layer onto your text by holding Alt and clicking the center. Oops, clicking the center like that. And you want to go to your brush tool, make sure it's black. Now I'm going to leave a download in the description for this brush pack that I use for pretty much all of my designs. It's just a pack with lots of brushes to choose from. So I want to leave a description. In the description, I want to leave a download for this brush pack. So once you downloaded the file, you want to go to the gear here, settings. You want to click on load brushes. And after you load your brushes, you're gonna select the brush pack. So you're gonna click Ferrix brushes, load it up, and you will have your brush pack and you'll be ready to go. Alright, so now we should be ready. So now you're gonna pretty much select the brushes which you want, really. But I want to show you the ones I pretty much use for most of my text banners. So you can use 917, actually not 917. You're gonna use brush 330. It's this cool effect right here. So make sure it's on black, and you're on this layer right here, and you're ready to go. So, oh yeah. First, before you do that, you want to rasterize your layer style of the text. And now you should be able to add these cool brushes to your text. You can experiment with this, try different brushes, and mess with the sizes. I like to use this. I use this in all my text designs. This brush right here, it's so cool. I love it. Just add how many you think is good enough for you, and I think that's good enough. So after that, you want to go to overlay, set your blend mode to overlay, mess the opacity a bit to what you're liking, and you have that really cool, kind of like a pattern effect right here to make your text stand out a lot more. So you can see that looks really cool. And you can add as many of these brushes as you want. So I'll add another actually. You know what, I want to go with paint splatters. Let's try some paint splatters right here. Oops, I don't want too big. And we're at some paints. You can try different ones. Let's try this paint splatter. And let's try this one. Okay, let's add one more. This one, let's try this. Cool. Now that you have your paint splatters or whatever brush you want, go to overlay again. Boom. Got a cool paint splatter effect. Now, so after you're done with your brushes, do as many as you want, do what you think looks the best. And that's pretty much it for that part. So after that, you're gonna hold shift, top layer to your text layer, and merge those together. And there you go. And after that, you should be able to also merge pretty much everything together. So you can select both the layers, Control E, here's your text. Now we can go to open up our blending options again. We can do gradient overlay, do black and white. Black and white, make sure the white is at the top though. Oops, do that. Okay, black at the bottom. And we can set our blend mode to overlay. Oops, not soft light, overlay. And just mess with the opacity a bit, make the top a little brighter and the bottom a little darker, makes it a lot more real. You could also add an inner glow. Mess with that, make the back of it a lot brighter. Looks a lot better. Nice. But you can also add more. You can go to filter gallery if you want. Stylize glowing edges. Make sure you duplicate that new layer, by the way. Linear dodge. Okay, eraser tool. And just erase some parts that look a little funny to you or too bright. Just make it a lot cooler and more abstract. Just erase the parts. that was that one effect I forgot to mention. But yeah, so you can see there's a huge difference there. Um, that looks good. So yeah, merge those together. And if there is also one more thing, if there are letters in front of a text, for example, this E is in front of this X slightly, you can make a new layer, polygon lasso tool, and just take the bottom text, just take a part of the text, so you can have a little shape here, get your brush tool, set it to the default brush right here, black, and you can make a little shadow effect right here. Make it look like that because of that one letter is in front of this X right here. So you can make a cool shadow. I'll fix that. There you go. You can lower the opacity just slightly. You don't want too much. There you go. Yeah, you can do so. You can also do that to make it more real. And there you go, guys. That is my text tutorial. This is how I make my text on all of my designs. It's my own unique style. I think it looks really cool. And now you guys can try it out, see if you like it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.